Today I wanted to share a little figurine that we're going to paint, and I'm going to use this cloud palette. I just shared this in the previous video, so make sure you go and check that out if you're interested. But here is the figurine. He is an individual salt shaker, but I just love the shape of him. I love that it's tall and rectangular here, a little half oval, almost like a triangular body here, and then these giant fat legs of his. Look how cool. And then those little pointy shoes. I just really like everything about it. What I'm going to be trying to do is make him a little more illustrative. Like, I don't want to put all those details in his face. I don't want all these little different areas of his clothing to be patterned or anything like that. However, I do really love the orange and the blue combination, so I'm going to try to keep that. So let's have a little fun with him and the cloud palette, and let's see what we can do. For the colors, I thought I would use this overcast, a mix of overcast and the ash blue light. I really like the lightness here, and I like the almost purplish color here. For his hat, I definitely want to use this burnt rose. I just really like the orange coloration of that. For his face, I'm going to try a mix of sandstone and mollusk, or else seashell and mollusk. I'm not sure what's going to give me the more fleshy tone. Like in the actual salt shaker, he's pretty almost like an ashen white, but I want him to have a little more pink to his tone. For the details like the black, I will probably mix some of these colors to see what was going to give me a really nice dark color to use for like the tassel on the edge here. He's got a couple pieces of hair. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that or not, but for his eyes, I definitely want them a darker color. So let's have some fun. I drew him in a little bitty sketchbook here, and it's a handmade sketchbook, but look how cute he is. I tried to make his shape the best that I could, and it's pretty close. I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do on this side is I want to play with some colors and see if I can get the colors that I want for him. When working with handmade watercolors, sometimes they tell you to just wet them, and I'm just going to do that. I just want to add little drops. Nothing too much. It doesn't take much with this brand. This is Ocean Paper. So I want to first see what this dark and this brown is going to do. I want to see if it will give me kind of a darkish black for his eyes, for the little tassel. Go a little darker with, oh yeah, that's a nice color right there. I go even a little darker on that color. All right, so that'll be a nice mix for the darkness. I want to play with his clothes, and I love this overcast color. And I want to add some of the purple cast in there, or this ash blue. Just a little bit more. I'm also going to try this ash blue here by itself. And then let's mix a little bit of the seashell, which is the almost white here. So see, it gave me a little brighter color than the overcast. So I'm not sure which one I'll use. And then burnt rose for his hat. And I'm going to mix a little bit of this burnt sienna color with it, just to see what kind of shadow color I can get. That's pretty. And then the last thing, remember I wanted to try his face color. So let's try this mollusk color by itself. So add a little bit of white to that and a little bit more. Now I want to try the sandstone by itself. This has a little yet more yellow cast than the mollusk has a little more peach. So let's try that with a little bit of peach. And then his shoes are kind of a tan color. I want to try the sandstone here. So let's mix sandstone and a little bit of the burnt sienna. A little more sand. Oh yeah, that's a nice color there. Now if you don't have this palette at home, but you want to paint along, you saw how I did it. I just played and added colors to see what was something that I liked. And maybe you don't like orange, so give him a red hat or give him a purple outfit. It doesn't matter. What it's really about is finding something that you connect to make him have more charm or more character for yourself. And what I want to try to do too is move some of the color from in here to the outside and just make it seem a little looser than what it is. Instead of painting inside the lines, I want to extend the color out into the background. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to start with the orange, let's see here, which is burnt rose. Some water. The sketchbook here has Fabriano Studio paper. It's my favorite, cold press, 90 pound I believe. Just water here. I want to take a little bit out here. I'm letting that kind of just dry just a little bit because I know once I touch it, it's gonna really flow. See it kind of seeping out? I've got a little bitty white line. Can you see that little white line here? I want to close that up just a little. That looks awesome. I'm going to pull a little bit here so that it creates kind of a sideways glance. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. You can see I have a tremendous puddle. Watch right here. See how much water is right there? So all I'm going to do is lay my brush down and kind of pick some of that up. I'm going to touch into that rose and then a little bit of the burnt sienna dark, because while this is wet, I want to add some of that shading color. Going just into the burnt rose. Where I lifted that water out, so I'm just adding some more color. I'm going to splash lightly. I splash for value and texture. So if this doesn't start moving, I'm just going to touch my brush in there and get it moving around. See that this is a little harder line? So that is called hard edge, and this is called a soft edge. And when I'm painting, I like to have both of those edges. I like to have the hard edge and the soft edge everywhere if I can. It just makes it, see how it gives you a little firmer shape here where this seems a little airier. Okay, I'm gonna go into the blue now, and the blue down here, I want it to be a softer blue. So I think I'm gonna use that Overcast, which is this light one here, and a little touch of the Ash Blue Light, which is the more purple one. A little bit of water. So you can see by adding the two colors, it's creating a little bit of depth here, but then a little bit of lightness up here on this side. So my hat is shaded on this side more than this side. So I want my shadow a little more darker over here and lighter on this side. I'm going to do the same thing where I did up here. I definitely want that to be splayed out a little bit more. Because he is a salt shaker too, it would look really cool adding salt in here. But for right now, I just want to add the splatters and see how that turns out. I'm loving that little excess there. Okay, for his jacket, I definitely want to go a little bit darker. So I like this Ash Blue Light. I'm going to pull that, and it's a little more kind of purplish color. I'm going to take a little bit of green gray, which is this one, and I want to see what that and the purple color will do. So I want it a little darker, and what it's doing really is dulling it. I've dried this and I put his eyes and his eyebrows on and a little line for his nose and his hair there with the dark green color, which is the copper green dark, and the burnt sienna dark. I knew I couldn't do that from here and get really nice lines, so sorry about that. I want to use that same dark over here for his tassel. I really like that dark color. And here's our salt shaker. A little more illustrative, not as detailed as this little guy, but I definitely captured his essence, wouldn't you say? The colors are kind of the same, but different, and the details definitely are not there, but I love it. I love how that looks, and he just brings a smile to my face. So I hope you enjoyed seeing the process go from the lack of details, but yet still adding a lot of charm to him with colors and the explosion of color on the outside. I think he's just really adorable. If you were inspired by today's video, please like, comment, or subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.